As the stage is set for a Biden-Trump rematch, more Republicans giving their endorsement, including those who once ran for the job themselves, like our next guest, who says Trump's the only one to fix inflation and the border. Former GOP presidential candidate, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez, joins us now. Mayor, thanks for being here. You endorsed Donald Trump before Super Tuesday. Just talk to us about that and the contrast we're looking at between Trump and Biden.
Well, one of the interesting things you have, which you probably haven't had in the history of the United States, is you can actually compare the records of one versus the other. So you can take out all the other stuff that's sort of a distraction. You know, people who might not like the former president because of his personality, or the current president because of his lack of energy, right? You can just put all that aside and focus on the 4 years that the former president was president and the 4 years the current president has been president, and ask yourself a couple questions. The first one is, you know, the border. There's 7.2 million people who have entered legally since Biden became the president. That's more than the population of 37 states in the United States of America. Then you look at the Middle East. You've got a conventional war in the Middle East under the current president or the former president. You had peace agreements between the Arab world and Israel. And then you look at the fact that Putin invaded Crimea and invaded Ukraine. That did not happen under a Republican Donald Trump administration. That happened under Democratic presidential administrations. And then you look at inflation, right? Inflation was at an all-time high during this presidency, meaning that working people suffered much more and had a much harder time paying their bills and buying a home. And so when you just look at those basic issues, which are the issues that most Americans care about, there really is no comparison. It's quite easy. So my focus is going to be on young voters that the former president lost by 26 points to Joe Biden. My focus is going to be on Hispanics, of which I am one. And it's an area where I think Republicans can grow significantly. And then, of course, cities like mine that flipped from plus 30 for Democrats to plus 10 for Republicans since I've been mayor.
No doubt that's a focus. Some numbers have already started to look better amongst youth and Hispanics for Donald Trump. Having your help will go a long way as well. Real quick, though, have you thought, I know I'm getting way ahead of my skis, and this is even, do you want to run in the future? You ran in 2024. I would imagine you've got your eye on future years, 2028.
Look, with politics, you got to take it one day at a time. I know that sounds like a cliche. Sort of the natural evolution of being the mayor would be considered a run for governor in 2026. That's still a few years away. So that's something that I'll consider when the time comes. My term ends in 2025. So there's a natural sort of evolution there and a natural transition. But look, there's a lot of time. I'm focused on doing my job. We've had a great year in the city. We had a lower homicide rate this year than we had in 1947 when we started recording homicides, with a third of the population in 1947 than we have today. We grew 14%, 12% last year. So 2 years in a row with double-digit growth. And we did something shocking. We actually lowered taxes. We grew and we actually lowered taxes. So we've kept people safe. We've shrunk the size of government, and we've grown by double digits. We also have the lowest unemployment in America and the highest wage growth.
Well, it's not a no, so we'll stay tuned. One thing I know you want to solve in Miami, though, first, is some of these spring break problems you've had in years past. Here's some of the new rules that are being unveiled in Miami. $30 parking rate at city garages and lots in South Beach. Restricted entry to those garages, double towing, security checkpoints on bags, closure of beach entrances at 6 p.m. I mean, you obviously want people visiting Miami and Miami Beach, but spring break got out of control. It's something you want to change this year.
Yeah, it has gotten out of control. Unfortunately, the last few years, we've seen some incidents that have, obviously been incidents that you're showing right now that were not flattering for the city or for Miami Beach. And so we work with Miami Beach, and they've implemented some tough rules, including but not limited to closing parking garages to non-residents during some of the peak weeks of spring break. We've surged police presence. I think we have 18 jurisdictions that are working with them in Miami Beach, and I think 45 Florida troopers that have come down to help. So it's a multi-agency task force. We're working together. We're supporting the beach to make sure that we don't have any negative incidents, any black eyes in terms of incidents and issues that we've seen, unfortunately, in the past. And we want to make sure that everyone can have a good time and be there safe.
There you go. Mayor Francis Suarez, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete.
You got it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.